Good evening. It's I'm quite happy today, to be fair. I've just seen an Arsenal game. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I know we're a Man United channel, but my hatred for Arsenal runs deep. So welcome everybody in the chat. This is the Man United agenda, and I'm absolutely delighted that Arsenal just lost 2-0. Got that out the way. Half time. How are you, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I enjoyed watching that game. I strongly dislike both teams. But if United can't be in the Carabao Cup, I'd quite like to see a final between Newcastle and Tottenham and just see how much they shit themselves.
It'll be -1, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not. It's not ours. I understand, but I I would. Yeah, do you know what? I would like to see a Tottenham. I have no problem Tottenham winning a trophy under Ange, but Newcastle, we did them. You know, I don't know how much benefit it's going to do to them financially, but I would like. I don't have a problem Newcastle winning it. I think it'd be nice for Eddie Howe. It'd be nice for an English manager to win something. So
Not for me.
oh really? You would rather Tottenham?
Yeah. I mean, like, I've lived up in the northeast, and like you guys live in like London, so it's a different thing, isn't it? But I don't like Geordies. I much prefer Sunderland. I like
That's
Middlesbrough.
same thing.
Sorry.
No, they're them. Yeah, same region, but there's the Geordies and the Mackhams in it. You can't say they're the same. They'll stone you.
But can you distinguish between a Sunderland accent, the Middlesbrough accent,
Yes.
and a Newcastle accent?
Well, yeah, but it's because of the words that they use and things like that. But I also, because Southie are behind Newcastle United, I'd like to see them struggle for as long as possible. And Spurs have got that big milestone of that stadium around them that I think is gonna strangle them for a couple of years financially. So I prefer Spurs to
see. And then I know Tottenham fans who would sweep me nothing more than for them to get to Wembley, be excited, and then for Newcastle to dump them. So it's a London thing. Maybe it's a London thing. Bath time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Yabba, I haven't introduced yourself. How are you, sir?
Oh, hi. My name's Yabba. I'm here for the job interview as a presenter. Yeah, what do you want to know?
Why are you dressed as the Hamburglar?
Hey?
Why are you dressed up as the Hamburglar?
I've come to, if I don't get a job, I'm coming to rob your home.
Nice.
Yeah,
nothing to do with burgers. Nothing hamburger. Nothing to do with burgers. I'm waiting for your Facebook post, Yabba, to post into the group if you haven't already posted it.
Yeah, like you, Marvin. I mean, so, Mr. B, I want to rip them, cuss them, destroy them. These Arsenal fans, just so annoying. And I'm so happy. Look, I just going to raise a question. We're a Man United channel, but we've talked football. Do you think that you need another manager to Arteta's taken them to a certain level? They're at a good level now. But to get over the line, to be clutch and win trophies, 2 years running, they had it handed to them on the plate. They didn't win the title. They were 93% of the season the head of the league against a great Man City side. This season, when it's like Man City have dropped off, they're like 6, maybe 9, potentially 9 points off the top, and they've just been kicked out of the cup. You know, do you think that Arteta, as a young manager, he's done pretty well? But do you think they need someone else to take them to the next level?
Not for me.
No, I think Arteta. I think they're as high as they're going to get with Arteta. To be fair, I mean, look, he spent all that money. You may as well give him a chance to proper mess it up. So no, I want him to stay for another couple of years. To be fair, you know, they're not used to winning, and long may it continue.
Do you think it's anything about heritage though? Because like they haven't won a title for over 21 years. They claim to be the third biggest side in England. They haven't won a Youth Champions League. I mean, I think they're not clutch, are they? When it really matters, it's very rare that they actually do the business. And
I would rather be in their position than us.
Yeah, maybe, but at the moment, that's just a current thing we're going through. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting now. I just think the Arsenal fans, you know what they're like. They'll be coming out saying Arteta have to go and all that. You've seen, is it Troops and all these?
They've already started with their Arteta. It's good. I love it. I love it. Let them keep reacting. Let them keep doing what we're doing. But we ain't got no manners. Angels coming straight away. Not a hello, not a how are you, or anything. 1 hour 28 before the stream, he's put fake news in, and I bet he doesn't come back to acknowledge that it's news, whether it's fake or not. It's big news, and that's what we talk about. Solo, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not out there in the freezing cold, mate. Andrew, I'm scared sometimes. Yeah, see, I'll just say hello. Sometimes it frightens me when I don't read these messages. But Bilal, I see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Johnny Hill, the fact such stories such as Mainoo's one has been allowed to be published should just tell you exactly how much toxic disgrace Sir Jim is. I don't think they had a choice. I think if it's news out there, they're always going to dig it up and find it. But I hope you're doing well, man. Elon Musk would make a piss off, and he's looking to buy Liverpool. Oh look, that's just how it is. We deserve better. Somebody with some sense. Let's hope we duplicate tonight's result come the weekend. Thank you very much. That's something more like it. Yeah, this is quite sensible as well. Yeah, he is a Newcastle.
I am, yes.
Yeah, look, we know that. We've got a little howdy here from We Deserve Better. And Jeff, I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. Who else is in the house? That is it for now. Oh, yeah, Ed Mayhem. Big love to
Ed Mayhem.
I'm not here and I'm a girl. Apologies. I I'm not and he. I'm not a he. I'm a she. I apologies, Angel. But I wouldn't have known because you don't have a picture up. You've just gone, hey, I can't tell if it's a woman,
It's a boy's name, to be fair.
What, Angel?
Yeah. Gomez.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's why I thought I knew it. I knew I wasn't being a narc. There was a reason why I thought you was a why I thought you was a he. But welcome anyway. Welcome. Right. We had a story break a little bit earlier on that I did poo-poo at when Bath Time sent it to me. But the more I've been thinking about the situation at the club, and Bath Time, you'd been talking to me. I don't know if we ever spoke about it on stream.
On the show.
Yeah, about Euro's wages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, look. Mainoo's been linked with Chelsea. He's got 2.5 years left on his contract. He's currently on 20 grand. He's a full England international, first team player for Man United. He's played in a Europa League final.
European Championships final.
Sorry. European Championships final. He's got has he got 2 cup winners medals for us or just one?
Just the one.
Just the one, and then he was there you go. So his level and his stock is quite high. Now I say when Bath Time did send me the telegram, I did poo-poo it, but the more that I worry about it, Bath Time.
I didn't send you a telegram. Right.
Telegram from the
sorry. It was just sorry. Right, I realised. Sorry.
It's the only way we can communicate with Mr. B is through sending him telegrams.
Sorry. A multimedia message is what I should have said, and then I started thinking. I started thinking about Euro's wages and what we were talking about it being 80 grand. The fact that Ratcliffe, he's cutting £20 from the ball boys, he's cutting 40 grand from the foundations. What do you think? Do you think it's posturing, which I hope it is? Do you really think that he would leave? That's more what I'm putting out there. I'm struggling to kind of work out whether they would actually do it or it's just paper talk.
Well, let's start with this. I think you built it up really well, Mr. B, stating what he's done so far. Impact player, come through the youths. This is what we love to see as Man United fans, players coming through the academy into the first team. He's like the shining light at the moment, isn't he? Since Garnacho's been misbehaving, and obviously the FA Cup goal he scored was magnificent. Since he's come into the side, he's sort of like raised our game in midfields and give us a lot, to look forward to. So when we're talking about getting a new contract for someone like that, it's important. What we don't want to do is end up in a situation where we're giving these youngsters too much money. There's got to be a contract where we still keep him hungry with the incentive, but we don't want to turn him into a big-headed superstar millionaire at such a young age. I don't know his character, but I tend to think he's grounded. He's Ghanaian. That helps, And I just think that we have to be careful how we go forward with this. Rumors, yeah, every day there's some story coming out. I heard the story as if Man United decide to sell KOBBIE, then Chelsea would be interested. It says here Chelsea are leading the race to sign KOBBIE Mainoo if he should leave Man United. The United star has 2.5 years left on his contract at Old Trafford, but it is thought to be in a stalemate with the new club, with a new deal with the club. So there's a bit of a stalemate at the moment, apparently. Where's this leaking from? Mainoo wants around 200 grand a week.
How much?
This is what I'm reading here from S Omen source. So how much? My thing is, if he's only on 20 grand right now, which is standard, and what is Euro on? I'll be looking at what's Euro on.
Euro's on 150 grand.
170.
Well, then you see why KOBBIE might be asking for 200 then, if that's the case. So that's the mistake you make when you're bringing a youngster like that, like Euro, on that sort of wage. That's the benchmark, and anyone negotiating would say, well, he's my age, he's got the same potential as me. I want the same as him, if not more. So yeah, that's the sort of figure we might have to be looking at. I just think we should have some sort of incentive where we get him up to 80 grand, and then after a couple of years, increase it. We don't want to get to a situation where he's like Marcus Rashford and he's raving all the time.
If he's on 200 grand, couldn't we give him like a 10-year contract then? Would that be feasible?
No, because you don't. This my whole point was saying you want to manage the player, as in don't like let them become too rich. You want to keep that hunger in them, keep them hungry, keep them fighting for something, and with incentives. The wage needs to be incentivized, where it means, I've got to work hard. I need to achieve this goal this season. Have some key performance indicators every season to notch up my money. If he's money orientated, I suppose they're professionals, so they have to, look at money. But there's also, I read a quote from Gerrard today as well. I've seen an interview from Gerrard from years ago, Liverpool player, obviously. But he said his head was turned by wanting to play for Mourinho because he thought he was a world-class manager at the time. And he had offers from Chelsea and other big clubs. But he turned them down because he loves the club. And that's beautiful for Liverpool fans. And what would be beautiful for me, just like Giggs and Rashford and all these guys, if this happens, I'd like to see KOBBIE at this young age. He's too young to move. Just say, I'm staying at Man United. I love the club, and we will work a deal out and get it all together.
Bath time.
Yeah, I've been worried about this for quite some time. Like the signing of Euro, fantastic, like great player, but putting him on that money was always going to be an issue because he's a defender. Like midfielders and strikers are gonna want more, and it always laid the benchmark for KOBBIE's upcoming contract. That if Euro was on 170, KOBBIE's well within his rights to ask for 200k. He's done more in football than Euro has, for a start. But I've been so worried about losing KOBBIE Mainoo all season because he's played in the European Championship final. He hasn't played in the Champions League. If England should be looking to win an international trophy, like with the team that they have and the team that's coming up. When you look at people like Gordon and so on have won the under-21 Euros, KOBBIE will be desperate for Champions League experience. To get in that team, he's going to have to be playing at the top end against the top players. With our financial issues, he's our most sellable asset. I genuinely don't think that this is not. I don't think that this is paper talk. I think that this is something that could genuinely happen because we need to make money. We need to be in the Champions League. We've got absolutely no money at all. KOBBIE Mainoo is like if we're going to sell him, it would have to be this summer to get maximum value for him with 2 years left on his contract. I'm very, very fearful that this deal might actually happen, especially as we don't know. We don't really know what his best position is in the Amrin system either. We don't know if he should be a 6 or a 10. I'm concerned, and I have been for quite some time, that our lack of Champions League football and our financial situation means that we're in no position to turn down a bid for KOBBIE Mainoo, and we have to pay him. We have to pay him what he's worth. Like Yabo was talking about key performance indicators and stuff like that. We've set down how much a golden boy talent is worth at 170 odd grand a week. KOBBIE Mainoo is more than entitled to ask for 200 grand if that's what we've given to Yoro.
Right, let me go for a couple of these messages and see if we can pick up anything on here. Bath time, I had a what's his name? Sorry, Bart. He had a question for you. That one.
I don't know.
Time, what's Mainoo's best position?
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him, like in the system. I would have Mainoo closer to goal because of those goals he scored against Wolves, Man City, Liverpool. I'd have him in those positions, but I'm not. Like he's definitely got the ability to play in a two-man central midfield, but I don't think that him and Ugarte are a good blend because I don't think that Ugarte is good enough in the air and is good enough over long distances to cover Mainoo.
Fair enough. Oh, you're real negative Nancy today, ain't you?
I'm not a negative Nancy. I've said this all the time.
Johnny Hill, they extended Maguire's contract. That is 190 grand. I think they also gave Bruno 300k. He's on more than that. Knowing how stingy Ineos are, I bet they've offered him something like 40 grand. Sigmund, welcome. Long time no see. Long time no hear. Why don't we offer players stocks as an incentive rather than cash? They would also be an incentive to work to do well for the club and not just for themselves. You can't spend stocks, bruv. You can't spend stocks.
Would that be like someone giving them crypto?
No.
Like that?
I think it'd be worse than
I think City do this, to be honest.
What, incentives in the club? Do you?
No, I think that when you look at players like De Bruyne and Silva and stuff, we always talk about how we overpay wages and things. I think that there's sort of, I don't know, they're given different incentives as well, like the ability to invest in a league or a business or something like out in Abu Dhabi or whatever. But we can't be giving away like shares in the club.
I do recall.
Players.
I recall where I think it was Beckham. Once he got to a certain age, similar to where KOBBIE is right now, his incentive or his sort of increase was given a car. He was given a car. Didn't have to buy it himself. I think he was given a car, like maybe a Mini or something like that. He was given a car. Some of these players was given a car to say, "All right, you got a car now, your own car. Bam, go ahead." And look how times have changed, haven't they? So you got KOBBIE now coming through, but rightfully so, he's delivered. No one's complaining about what he's done, but it's just a value now. If Chelsea are going to value him that high, and they think English quota as well, I just thought, like we've discussed this over the weeks and months, I just thought he was our most valuable asset. And there's something, even yesterday we said he's untouchable. I think the word was untouchable. Someone like who shouldn't be sold. And so I'm surprised now today, the next day, we're actually talking about it. There's a possibility, or Bath time is saying there's a possibility that he could go. I'm really shocked by that, but it's business, isn't it?
Kate Cadet's not having none of it. He's not having none of it. I had a comment about the Agile Beast. It was just something I threw out there. That's all. 10-year contract is a terrible idea. Any player could fall right off a cliff. Imagine Dele Alli on the 10-year contract. Even blood. Flipping heck.
Both played in the same position. I wonder if that's a coincidence.
Coincidence. It has to be a coincidence. I know.
Just watching the game tonight, for example, they had Willock, who plays for Newcastle. He's obviously ex-Arsenal player. But just watching him, his energy, like I saw one run he went on. He was in, you sometimes you do a 3/4 sprint. He was in full, like 100-meter final sprint, and nothing came of it. And he just jogged back and he had to sprint again. I think this guy has got lungs. He's got energy. But I can't imagine KOBBIE, different type of player, obviously. But in today's football, you need to have an engine on you to get up like that and have the speed. That Willock is like amazing player, and the guy they play on the right as well. He's got into who's the twin brother of Jacob Murphy? Is it from Norwich? The two brothers. Yeah, he's like I'm watching him and thinking, okay, he's made it because he works his bees bollocks off every week. That's why he's ahead of other guys, and I think that's what makes Newcastle an attractive side for me. They work hard. They really work hard and they've got great character and grit, So when I'm looking at KOBBIE,
quality though, like Gordon and Isak have got like that's the thing is that like I think what they've done is they've recruited well where they've got you've got a player like Gordon who runs all the time, but he has Premier League quality. You've got Isak who puts himself about. He's got Premier League quality. Like I think that like we kind of need players like that, to be honest, to get back where we're going. Like because Bruno puts himself around a lot, and he would fit in a sort of Newcastle United team, I think. But when like if we go to KOBBIE can't get around the pitch and compete at the same level, so you kind of need to give him a henchman.
Okay, yeah.
Like you need to give it you need to give him a Joel Linton.
Which is Ugarte, I imagine. You don't like them, do you? You don't like them, two of them together. Going back to what they are, they asked the question, where's KOBBIE's best position? For me, it's always going to be that playmaker, that midfielder.
Really? Not a 10?
No, not at all. He's a midfielder.
In Amrin's formation, I think he'd be perfect in the 10, bruv.
I disagree. I really disagree. I don't understand. I've listened to you guys argue about this before. I thought, okay, yeah, I'm open to it. But the bottom line is, Mainoo is a midfielder, and he's a very good midfielder. You just got to focus on that and develop him in that position. And I know I was referring to Willock. I know he hasn't got that ability to get up the pitch like Willock and that sort of energy, but he has got quality that Willock hasn't got, So I think we just need to work on his game and play, get him more involved and make him a top player for us, which he can easily become. Because I'd hate to see him go to Chelsea and become this magical, beautiful player. I'd feel like a Man City fan seeing Palmer playing there right now. That must be painful.
Well, I mean, when you talk about like a sort of midfielder, Yabba, I think what you got to look at is that KOBBIE and Ugarte are great in threes.
Yeah.
Are we playing charades?
Maybe it's just me. I'm struggling to hear you. Can you speak up?
Really?
Yeah.
Let me.
I can.
I can. Okay. Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if that makes a difference. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make a difference?
A little bit. Yeah. Go on. What are you saying?
Yeah. So like KOBBIE and Ugarte are players that are best suited to a 3, I think. When you're looking like at a midfield 2, you're looking for henchmen. You're looking for big, strong guys who can win their duels, get up and down the pitch. 'Cause you've got to remember that, like, because we're playing in essentially a sort of a 3-back system where the width is coming from our wide backs or our wing backs or whatever. That midfield has got to get up quickly to support in both attack and defence. They've got to be mobile, rangy, kind of like long distance athletes. KOBBIE and Ugarte are not these things. Like Ugarte's good like over 30 yards or something. It's similar to Fred in the fact that he can busy about in the midfield and so on. But over bigger distances, he's going to get run off and he's not going to be able to sort of compete. And that's fine, right? If it's just one. But the combination of them are not powerful enough to run up and down all game and play in these.
Yeah, but bath time. But you don't have to bath time. I think you think that they need to be like you need to have 2 Joe Lintons. I don't know.
As a 2, I think you do.
Yeah, but you always said you didn't understand how you played in a 2. It's not about having 2 big brutes in there. It's about Ugarte's game is picking up the ball. I mean, look, his pass percentage is 89. Yes, he's passing the ball sideways, but he doesn't lose the ball. He doesn't lose the ball. So then he passes it to somebody who then can use. I know you talk a lot about with it being a two. I think you see as more defensive than
It
offensive.
is. It's a rest defence. He
Yeah,
set
but
them up as a rest defence with a 3 and a 2.
so what is the? Yeah, but you've made out like with the rest defense you need two big Joe Lintons. You don't. They complement each other, or he's trying to get the compliment.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do complement each other.
Why? Because none of them can header.
Well, yeah. I mean, look what has happened to Manchester City without John Stones and Rodri. Their inability to win the first ball and then compete for the second ball.
But-
we are awful at second balls.
But give Ugarte a chance, because you're actually crushing this guy. The guy, he's got
I'm
attributes.
not crushing him. I'm saying that the pair, as a pair.
Yeah,
not
but you
individually, as a pair.
you said we need someone next to KOBBIE who's going to big up overhead kick, who's going to be able to be an enforcer and who's going to be able to get up and down the pitch. I think Ugarte is settling into the club, and he's valuable to us right now. And I think give him more time, make an assessment in a couple of months, bath time on him, because I do think he's got what it takes to
I
be.
think Ugarte is great. I'm sorry. I think he's.
yeah.
I think
Ugarte's
he's been,
perfectly fine, right? He's not going to win you a Premier League or a Champions League or anything like that, but he's a good.
yeah, but he's going to be.
stone.
But he'll be part
Yeah.
of a team that does win.
Exactly. So he's fine. KOBBIE Mainoo is a brilliant footballer. He's excellent at combinations. He's excellent at drawing his man, disrupting blocks. You can keep the ball. He can win free kicks, and he's got the ability to score goals. I have absolutely no issues with KOBBIE Mainoo. What my issues is that as a pair, I don't think that there's enough physicality covered for us to get up and down the pitch correctly.
But
That's it. It's about the blend, not as individuals.
That's really no. You're right at the moment, but that's what I'm saying. So when you're talking about playing him as a number 10, just forget that. It's like with Ahmad playing as a wing back. Play the guy and develop the young guys, Ahmad and KOBBIE. Develop them, improve their game in their position in this system where they're going to be playing. So that the attributes that he doesn't have at the moment, which make us a bit vulnerable, maybe the physicality or the running power. I think he can improve on that, get himself fitter, leaner, stronger, and get more adapted to playing in the Premier League. But otherwise, when you look at his technical ability and him and Ugarte together, I think the ball's going to stick. You're talking about having a good rest defence. The rest defence is about setting up in zone lead and having numbers there. If they're there, they don't have to tackle. No one really tackles. Just
No,
get
it
your
does.
body.
You have to win your duels.
Yeah, but no one has to. What I'm saying is, you can be there or thereabouts, and most Premiership players will turn back and start again. You know, as long as they're in good shape, I think that's enough for now. But and help, and in the meantime, help them improve, get the physicality going, get him on some cross country running or whatever it takes to get him fitter and up and down the pitch. But
Right,
I'm just saying. Sorry, say it again.
Let me try a different line of argumentation then.
Okay.
Pretty much every team plays with a 3. Yeah? They play with a 3 in midfield. You don't disagree with that, do you?
I'm just thinking of other teams. Chelsea, do they? Do Chelsea play? Yeah. They played the two
holders
brothers.
and
Lavia,
Fernandes
Caicedo, and then Joe, what's he called? Not Joe Cole. Cole Palmer. As a 10.
Roman 10, innit? Yeah.
I thought the two guys they have Caicedo and Fernandes as a 2, and they're good enough to actually do a job in there.
Well, no, but not Bruno
And
Fernandes.
Spurs, they have a 2.
Enzo Fernandez is now playing the Conor Gallagher role of the right-sided central midfielder who runs up and down, and they've got Caicedo and Lavia as their sort of holding.
I thought it was a 2. I thought it was either because Enzo's on the bench or Caicedo or
right. Well,
Lavia's on the bench. I'm not sure.
This is kind of the point, right? Is that that third man in a midfield 3 is the free man for second balls. So the concept is is that one of the 2 is gonna win it and compete for it, and then that spare man is the guy that gets you out of the second ball. He kind of forms a rondo or something like that. So when we're looking at KOBBIE and Ugarte as a pair, because there's only 2 of them, we either need to have a centre back that is going to come close to them and deal with and kind of be the free man sweeping up between the lines, or we need a number 10 to come back and basically do the same. To do the same kind of job.
Yeah.
So they can work together, but maybe it's but what you definitely do need is you need someone that is going to come in and help them with second balls, because they're not specialist duellers. So going forward, I would have loved to have seen Amadou Onana play, like in that midfield, or someone.
You know he's not playing for Villa, don't you? You know them. He's stinking out the place for Villa at the moment.
Really? Your brother supports them, doesn't he?
He's stinking out the place for Villa at the moment. He's not even getting starts.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe. All right. Well, then let's think about someone like Cunha, the number 10 for Wolves, or a John, someone who can come back. But you do need, because you're going up against a 3 all the time with a spare man, you need someone to come in there that that helps the physicality. And that is my issue with KOBBIE and with Ugarte, is I don't think that they're at the physical levels, and that they're not being supported by the players around them to control games, but to control the aspect of all parts of football.
Just quickly. Sorry, Mr. B.
No, go.
Just quickly. So when we look, I like to look at what we've got at the moment. So at the moment, I think our best front two in that pair would be KOBBIE and Ugarte, because the other day we played Ericsson and Casemiro, and there was the comments talking about the combined age is 160 and or whatever, and they can't get around the pitch. They were getting played through by Newcastle of all teams, the other day. So I think at the moment they are best kind of pair. For if you're talking about physicality, right, they're probably the best too, but we're still sort of finding fault with them in a way. So it is an issue and something we can deal with, but I don't think it's a priority right now. Like we're saying, it's the January transfer window the other day. What's a priority position? I think those two are all right for now. And like you said, the solution, we usually said the bath time, I do agree, is like when you're in a position like that and you want to further second balls, you want someone to come in, win second balls or create a free when we're under pressure at times throughout the game. You've got to be under pressure or on the back foot or concede possession. That's when a number 10 or one of these guys like Bruno usually does just drops in and helps out, or a defender comes in and helps out and pinches the ball. That's how I think it could work. So it's the system. It's new systems new to the players. Once they adapt and start realizing, all right, as the manager said when he first come in, the players need to know what to do each phase of the game. So whether we're under it, the players should know automatically, which will come in time.
The defender needs to step out,
someone drops in, helps out, or whatever. So hopefully that will solve our problem, which I do agree with you. I totally agree with you, bath time. It is a problem, but hopefully it'll be solved by the system and a bit of rotation with the players, understanding of how to help out when we're in certain situations.
Yeah, I just you know my view that I feel that we need to increase the physical floor of the team, like through the roof.
I just think in certain positions, I really don't see a problem with. I think it's more tactical support for them in regards.
I think it's physicality.
So okay, Liverpool. It's one game, but was there any issue with the physical floor of the players on Sunday when we played Liverpool?
No, because those two had the most tackles in the game, 2-4 each, Ugarte and KOBBIE.
There was a lot of. They were run off a lot in the first 20 minutes. Like we played well. We played well in that game. We had individual errors in both boxes that you kind of need to improve and so on. But for me, like I think that De Ligt's footwork is something that needs to be improved drastically as a wide centre back, and that is a physical.
I don't think that's the position he's going to be playing bath time. I think they want Euro out.
Euro is getting him out. I think.
Yeah, I think Euro.
Take him out.
Yeah, I think Euro will take him out. Yeah.
All right, but that is kind of a one-off game, a bit like City in the cup final, etc. Like where they've gone out under pressure and they've basically done what the manager has asked them to a T. But over the course of the last 3 years, 4 years, we've seen that there is a real problem physically. I mean, at the moment, we don't even have enough physical players to play zonal marking, which is why we're conceding so many from corners and stuff.
Okay, so you see with you talk about zonal marking, you talk about five headers of the football, minimum. At United at the moment, who do we have who you would classify as headers? And one other thing before we go any further, we are a channel that I kind of pride ourselves on people in the chat acknowledging everybody who's on stream. If you are new to the stream, which a lot of you aren't, it's fine. But when there's three of us on stream, or four of us, sometimes five, and we get hello, hello, yabba, hello. Example today, we have hello yabba, hello Mr. B. Bath time is still here. So if you are gonna make the effort to acknowledge two, acknowledge three, or don't acknowledge. It's something that I've noticed has been happening for the last couple of months, maybe, but it's now beginning to piss me off. I don't want to have to ban people. I don't want to have to stop people from physically messaging in the chat, because I think that we've got a good community here. But acknowledge what I'm saying, hear what I'm saying, and understand what I'm saying. Because if it does happen again, people will be removed. Sorry, Bath time. Sorry to cut you off. That's just something that's been really pissing me off.
That's all right. I'm very up for banning people. So you you carry on how you want. I think we were talking about the physicality of players and who the main headers in the team are. I think you'd obviously put Casemiro into that, even though he's not playing. He's shown that he's effective in both boxes. You'd put Maguire in. Now, De Ligt has made a lot of errors on corners, especially against Milenkovic for Nottingham Forest. The first goal we conceded there, De Ligt is a little bit slow, but it could be because the blockers aren't very good. So we'll say De Ligt can go in. Johnny Evans can go in.
Not playing. Forget Casemiro and Evans. They're not playing.
Well, then, I mean, Delo and Mazraoui, I don't think are quite good enough that they're kind of bodies. But we had Ugarte and Martinez in the zonal system against Liverpool. They are definitely not good enough.
Right. So
Rasmus Højlund, definitely not good
right,
enough.
But his physical attributes and Xerxes' physical attributes, you would think that they would be better in the air. You know what I mean? Now, if you just want to be replacing people for because of their size for defending corners, I understand United can. I get it. I get what you're saying, but football isn't played on set pieces. Football isn't played out on the pitch with their free flow. And they're not going to be lumping the ball, because I think in certain passages of play, yes, Martinez gets exposed. And I understand it's a height issue. I totally understand it's a height issue. Ahmad, if the ball's in it, he's going to get exposed. But duels-wise, Ahmad is a lot better than... He's great in the duels. And Martinez doesn't have that. Now, I'm not saying replace Martinez with a taller player, but he's probably one of the players in the team who I feel could be replaced in that. But then,
well, it's all over the team, Mr. B, because regardless of what people say, football is a physical game, right? Every aspect of it includes physicality. Or people like Ronaldinho wouldn't have retired. All right, you enjoying this, are you?
Yeah, agile for you, side. Sorry, Rob. Go on. Go on.
But when you look at top teams, even prime Barcelona, you have a henchman in the middle of the midfield. You have someone who's 6 foot something, like Busquets, for example. You have Rodri. You have Rice. Chelsea, all right, they don't have a big man in midfield, but they've got
Salcedo's though. He's a beast.
Yeah, but they've got players that in the back line that are really good at covering the distances. Like at Chelsea, it's incredible, like what their players can do in the back. But once again, that's a physical thing. Arsenal are like the kings of set pieces at the moment. Set pieces are a massive part of football, but when you're playing like the zonal system that Amrin likes, where you cover areas of the pitch with zones, so you spread the team out, that means that you're going to be in more 1v1 battles. Certainly in the midfield, because we can't have just one person in the midfield, like that weird Ten Hag thing. You're going to have people like Ahmad out wide and Garnacho out, like Delo and Mazraoui out wide and things. And you need to be able to at least compete for duels. And the other thing is that if like with your front line, it makes your passing out from the back much, much better, because that team have got to get on the goalkeeper as soon as possible, because otherwise you're going to ship it long, the way City do to Haaland, for example, and you're going to be more potent all over the pitch. United, we might like a lot of the players individually, but as a collective, we've been absolutely dreadful this season. The worst United team in like living memory, unless you're Yabba. And the easiest to fix. Well, yeah, but you've got like, you connect to your ancestors. You can remember back for thousands of years. The easiest fix is to improve the physicality of the team, the way Newcastle have done, and sprinkle players in, because Casemiro's and Eriksen's are fine in a physical squad, but obviously not together.
Yeah, good point. I was watching Rice today, and we've always been a fan of his. I think from years ago when he was playing at West Ham. I mean, he could play centre back, couldn't he? He's that good, but he's like the ideal of a midfielder these days, because he can drive with the ball. He's got good energy. He's big. He's strong. He's dynamic. He's technically good. He takes corners and a few set pieces. So I was watching him today. I was thinking, man, that would have been a nice signing for us. And like you said with Arsenal, yeah, Partey was in there today. These guys are hard to get past. I'm watching Spurs the other day. They got a guy I really love called Sarr. Is it Sarr? Reminds me of Willock from Newcastle. He's just got energy. He gets up and down and can get into the box, get back. He's strong and wiry, So going back to the point, if Chelsea want to sign our KOBBIE, and if we have to recognise that he is valuable to us, and that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to build him up to say he's valuable. We've picked out the limitations that he has at the moment, but because he's young, I think we can work on the system as well, improve the issues, and so like it's just covering up things. It's like I'm going bald, so you always see me wearing a hat. It's a cover up to make me look cool and make me go out there and be winning every day. So I don't.
That's such a diss to Mr.
This I was gonna say. There's nothing wrong. This motherfucker.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with being bald.
Yeah, but the thing is, I wear a hat because I'm insecure. I don't want to see my bald patch and all that kind of thing. So
you're 12'9". The only person seeing your bald patch is people in aeroplanes, bruv. I wouldn't worry.
I'm on a double-decker bus. Yeah. Who's that guy? No, but this is what I'm saying. We need to cover things up. This is how you do things in football. Football's 11 against 11, different systems. There's always going to be a weakness, though, vulnerability. Like we found with Liverpool the other day, we worked on their vulnerability because they have someone pushing forward from right back. There's a vulnerability there. We try to exploit that. And this is what I say. So you have to cover up your weaknesses in football. We've made a good point about the midfield and about the physicality. How do we cover that up for now? Going forward, yeah, we can sign this big, Norwegian midfielder who's going to sit in there and win every duel or whatever. But for now, I think we can work on it by one, keeping more possession, two, asking a lot more for these guys, because we've always said that they got to work harder and treat every game like they did with the Liverpool game, where they running
focus.
Running their hearts out. So a bit more desire from the players, a bit more physicality to win the duels and everything else, and then that we could cover that up like I'm covering up my bald head, right?
Yeah, but I agree with that. But what it kind of comes down to, right, is that because we've been through tactical periodization and Portuguese training methods till we're blue in the face, but we understand that it's going to take a long time for the principles of the game model to kind of get across to the players. Yeah. I don't have any like with his system in principle, as I understand it. I'm not too bothered by it. Like, I don't like homogeneity, and I think that I don't like everything being the same. So I think it's all right to look at what Inter and Leverkusen and Sporting are doing and get that in. We don't have any money, which is a massive issue, but I think for this system to work, we do need different types of player to what we have at the moment, and it is square pegs and round holes. Obviously, we have that with the wing backs, like Mazraoui and
You think
Delo.
you think both sides? You think both right and left, even with Ahmad if he plays?
Yeah, I think you can infer from Amarin's selections that he wants Ahmad in the number 10, right? And why does he want why does he want people like why does he like want Mazraoui and Delo in those positions instead of Ahmad? And it's probably about covering distances. It's probably about 1v1 duels and so on. And I think that with his system, you need a much more mobile midfield to get up and down. So I think that like we kind of have to look at the moment of what players we need to get this system going. And I think that that's one of the issues with KOBBIE. Is I just put him in the number 10. Like that would be my long-term plan for him, is get him as close to goal as possible so that he can score goals, create them, he can dance about and so on. And I'd like us to get in Collier or a henchman next to Ugarte.
Wow. Who's Collier?
Tony Collier.
Tony
Collier. Yeah, I thought it was a sign. Oh, I thought you meant a signing. Yeah, he could be good. Really good. How do you think he's feeling right now? Because he got a few games under Ten Hag. Do you think he's been spoken to by the manager?
He didn't get a couple of games. He played against Barnsley for an hour.
At left back.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's it.
For some reason, I recall him playing for under Ten Hag.
He played against Rangers, I think, in a friendly.
Oh, right. So he played competitive games then.
Yeah, just one against Barnsley. Right. I imagine he's on the phone to Ruud saying like, "Come and give me a loan deal. Come and give me a."
That's the one. That's the one who I think could happen for Leicester. I mean, the Amas one, we were all convinced that Amas was going to be going Leicester, and the deal's off.
Yeah,
Is it off?
I heard earlier on today that the deal's off. So
I heard Shaw's back.
Shaw's back doing what?
Yeah,
Burger King.
He's back this month.
Training. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that fat cunt, man. I haven't got time. I until I see him on the pitch, I don't. He just turns my stomach, man. He just turns my stomach. I understand people get paid wages and no man's going to be, terminating his contract. But for what he did in the Euros, he can fuck right off, man. Sorry.
Look, I know it's hard. I mean, you're cussing these guys, and it is disheartening when we see Mount dropping again. But how do you think these players feel when they're getting injured all the time? You start getting going. Like you with your shoulder, me with my finger, half time with his injuries.
I don't have any injuries, thank you very much.
You did have one or two.
Yeah.
But you killed yourself. But like I'm saying, it must be so depressing for these guys. When you think, because you lose heart, you lose your drive. I remember Gascoigne. Remember Gascoigne with his injuries, broke his leg. Andy Cole broke his leg. Ruddock done him, and then he broke his leg again after that. It's hard to come back and get back to that level, and you always lose something, and you always have a bit of anxiety about going out there on the pitch again. So I hope these guys have been looked after, Mount and Shaw, and even Malacia as well, who's come back. I don't know if he's still fit to play, but yeah, it's really. I feel sorry for these guys. It must be like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
To come back
but
and suddenly.
As long as they're being professional, Yabba, and things. I think that like the two things that they do have my sympathy for is that the football season is ridiculous. There's far too many games of football being played. Like you see Varane's and Rodri's like calling it out, and then like a kind of witch's curse instantly out for the season. And one of them was like Varane was retired within 6 months of making those comments. And then you've also got things like are we off to Malaysia this summer?
What a load of shit.
What, Malaysia? I'd love to go to Malaysia. Please don't listen to Mr. B.
After the end of the season, when they should be all on bloody holiday.
No, I'm making a joke that
last time was on the beach.
No, I'm making the joke that what you said is what a load of shit was about Malaysia, the country.
Oh, sorry, sorry, no, sorry. I realized, that's not what I meant. Sorry, I meant the idea of going on a tour at the end of the season is shit. Thank you, Bath Time. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, because do you remember like last season we had like I think we went to Norway. Like, we played Rosenborg or whatever during their season.
That's right.
We
Yeah.
definitely played Rangers in Edinburgh, because we played them at Murrayfield.
Park.
And then we went to the SoFi Stadium in America.
Oh yeah, that nice
and
one.
Also,
Yeah.
we travel. I think we had to take plane rides in America, didn't we? Played in like Las Vegas.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you can't.
Somewhere else, and like that is not how you prepare players. Certainly after an international competition. KOBBIE hasn't had a pre-season. It's I do think that we're working them too hard. But the thing is that Mount, he did have a full pre-season. And he's been injured 3 or 4 times. Like, do you remember when he got that cut and we didn't see him for a month?
Just on that, I know you made a joke yesterday, made me laugh half time about Rashford being injured. Just pray for him. He's been out for 4 weeks. Obviously unwell, been ill, yeah. But how do you think he's feeling right now? Because he's watching on. Do you think like they're working with their agents to get out of the club?
Yeah, his representatives are in Milan today.
Oh right, okay,
they're actually out there talking to AC about a loan.
Wow.
Okay, so
we have to subsidise.
That's right on cue, because obviously, look, Simon's just asked us. So you're saying Milan,
yes,
and Simon's asking about Dortmund. So does that mean there's two clubs in for him at the moment? Is that right?
Well, surely Dortmund can't afford his wages.
No, neither can AC Milan.
We're going to pay. We'll pay. We'll just pay to get him out of the club.
Okay.
Like, what United, I think, will be doing is they'll be looking at Sancho last season and how we actually came out pretty well from that Sancho loan, because they got to the final of European of the UEFA Champions League, wasn't it? And so we got like an extra 2 or 3 million, I think, from the deal. So United will be hopefully looking at that, thinking, if he gets a Scudetto, or if he gets a German league, or he finishes 2nd or 3rd or whatever, like that should be factored into the deal. But I suspect that what Rashford is doing is something very similar to what Erling Haaland did before he moved to Manchester City, where he went to see pretty much every super club and listen to their presentation. Okay. And I think that Rashford, they'll go to Italy, they'll talk to Napoli, they'll talk to Inter, they'll talk to AC Milan, like over the course of 2 or 3 days. They'll go to Germany, they'll do the same, and then they'll go to Spain and they'll do the same, and then they'll sit there with offers. United would have told the agents what kind of deal they're looking to do, and I think that's how it'll work. But the fact that it's actually happening suggests to me that, Rashford they are looking to move him on in January, and he's actively participating in it. So I just
hope, if we have another bad result or something, I just hope people don't come back and say, "Oh, we shouldn't be selling Rashford." I hope everyone's on board with it now. He's not there. He hasn't been around for a couple of weeks. We have to move on without him. I would no looking back in our wing mirrors and thinking, "Oh, bring him back," because we're struggling. I'm looking forward without him now. Without disrespecting the player or anything, it's time he moves on. So even if we lose a few games or we haven't got anyone on the bench to come on to have its sort of impact, we've got to move forward without him. And it's good, like, after hearing that, I didn't know that about all these moves and things. I just want to see some developments get done. And I'm still so annoyed why we're now on the 7th of January and we probably have to wait till the 30th or the 31st before any deals are done. Why does it always go like that? I don't understand. What people should be doing their work. It's like they're just sleeping throughout the term time. And as soon as it's half time, we've got to get to work. It's like, wake up, big alarm for all these agents to come out.
It's brinksmanship.
As soon as the window opens.
It's brinkmanship.
So as soon as the window opens, get the deal done.
No, it's never going to work like that, because we're looking for the best deals and so on, and we've got to wait for someone else to blink. Like, there'll be 6 or 7, like, it's like buying a house or something. There'll be 6 or 7 deals ready to go the second that one major one happens. Right. And because we're 14th in the table, and we're not doing very well, I suspect everyone's waiting for United to go first. But I've seen quite an interesting comment, Mr. B. What do you think
from Tactical? That's the one.
The guy's called Jarvis.
That's the one. Jarvis, bless you, brother.
Schedule the tour at the end of the season. Now, I think Newcastle did this last year. I think a week after they played in the Premier League.
Yeah, they went to Australia.
Yeah,
Tottenham. But then this is the one. This is the one. That way we can stay in England for the final 4 weeks. before the new season. The preparation will be far more focused. None of this chaotic flying circus we've seen in the past. If that's what they're doing, tactical devil, then great. Because I don't see why they need to be flying. They would have made their money in Malaysia at the end of the season.
A bit confused.
They give them the rest, and then maybe they just do the Scotland, and instead of doing the tour at the beginning of the season, you do it at the end.
No,
and
other way around.
So as soon as the season's done, then you go on tour straight away.
Yeah, you do. You have like 10 days or whatever.
Obligations out of the way then, and then players had their holiday for 2 weeks.
It'd probably be longer than that, to be fair. But
yeah,
probably.
Well, it would be right. So think of it as like when we're going into an international tournament. There's a series of there's 3 friendlies, isn't there? International friendlies played.
Yeah.
We would do the tour then, give the players like their month off or whatever it is, and then instead of like I think we normally play like the 21st of July is normally our first. Around that kind of time is where we do our first friendly. Instead, then of like having to jet off to an emerging market, we put them into a pre-season then, and we get the game model and the things in, integrate new signings and so on. I think that it's probably a sensible idea for a non-international tournament year, but there's definitely a reason clubs are doing it in July, and it'll be money. There'll be a reason why they do it, because the tour is not just about like the tour is about America, like about trying to get new fans and to get that cash going, and doing new markets. And to be honest, like now that Everton have been taken over by an American, like more American owners, thank God we've got Ratcliffe and we've got Steve Parry in the league
to keep the quota down, isn't it?
Yeah, the 2/3 because we're at 2/3 now. Like that American consortium can make any change they want to the Premier League. They can have us. That was it.
Well, they need 14. Game? They need 14. The 39th game would never happen by half time. I don't.
Well, you say that, but they've got the majority now of American owners. But Parish, Crystal Palace, even though he's not the owner, he basically runs that club, and we can say the same about Ratcliffe. Those two are keeping the boundary from even crazier things happening in pre-season and so on. Like I think that the 39th game is something that might happen in the next 10 years.
Well, this is why, I mean, we're talking about with the thing against us is the FFP, the financial thing, but it's all about squads. We said in the show already about how difficult it is for players and the injuries that happen. So you need to have a good squad. I've seen Arsenal, they've gone without Odegaard, they dropped off. They weren't challenging anymore. Now they've lost Saka. They've lost 2-0 today. The squad's so important, but it's not just about players coming in. The players coming in have to be very good as well if you want to be successful and winning things. We've seen Man City, Rodri's out for the season. They've got youngsters there, They're expecting Rico Lewis to come and fill his boots. So obviously not, but do you see what I'm saying? The squad's not strong enough. And then you've seen players like Rodgers, like Palmer, former Man City players, out there doing their thing, and these, Man City players, fans are complaining now. So it's all about squad game now. 5 subs, you can utilize. We have to improve the squad and get.
Yeah, but where does that money come from? It comes from
I think
us.
This is I think what we're thinking about. What the Ineos are thinking about is improving the youth setup so we can bring quality players to come through. And we are. If you look at our youth team, we won a couple of years ago with Ganacho and them boys. We are getting better. We've got a good side at the moment. I think that's how we have to look at it.
No, but I think
we have to have 1 or 2 players on the cusp of coming into the side or being good enough to come to the side and develop that way as well. That's a good way of getting it. We've got that Diego guy, the left back, coming through, 18 years old at the end of next season. So this is one way of solving that problem.
No, but I think you've got it the wrong way around. Like I know what you mean, that is how you'd like to see things done, but because football is at its heart now, it's a business. We're not community football clubs serving a local community. We're international businesses. We have to make money, and you can't make money in football because you've got to go out and buy players. So you've got to if you say you've got to get more players in and increase the size of the squads, you need to bring more revenue in. And the only reliable way to do that is off the fans. And the second way is to sell youth products because they give you the most amount of kind of financial capital.
That's what I'm saying. We're improving the youth system, so these youth players are getting better.
To sell them.
Yeah, but if we sell them, whatever.
But Mark, time you make out like you do it to sell all of them.
Well, that's what City and Chelsea do.
Yeah, but they don't sell all of them. I mean, look, we've always, as a club, United have always prided themselves on having a pathway for the youth to come through. Now, I don't see that stopping. I mean, look, what's his name? Obi Martin. He looks like he may well be the real. Understand he's 7 foot taller than everybody else in the under 16s, but he's banging it in. We've got a few in the reserves who Biancheri, who is the year above a couple of years. He looks like he's so. I think that there's players there, and the youth I think is the way. I don't see, and then we sell the ones who, who we're going to get maybe the 10 millions or the 12 millions for, who are United players. They're not first team players, but because they've been brought up in the United system, they already know. Back in the day when they used to get, I don't know if it's still the same, when they used to get Fergie's players on loan, they always used to say, they used to come in and they were the most best behaved. They were the most professional in what they do. So that's already what they get. And then obviously that is what Chelsea are doing with the youth. Now, the ones who they can keep, understand they're making mistakes because they keep buying their players back, but they've made the right decisions in the players who they're purchasing. So I'm hoping that, I know you don't want us to be a feeder club and getting rid of our kids, but
I don't.
If it's not working out and it's good enough for Chelsea and it's good enough for Man City, then I don't see why it's not good enough for Manchester United.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Is that we are not going to populate our first team squad from the academy anymore.
Listen, Alan Hansen. Let me say. What is the point in investing in the youth setup then?
Because it's a cash machine.
The benefits are, one, like you said, we could, if they sell players. Look at Zidane Iqbal. We thought he was a decent player. He sold $500,000. Look at the guy who went to who's the guy with dreads playing in midfield pre-season?
Maxi.
The Polish one.
He looked good. But we decided to sell him. These guys are experts. They're qualified to decide what level they're at or whether they're going to kick on.
That's all to get Ugarte.
You might get it wrong a few times, but in our current squad, we've got Garnacho and we've got KOBBIE, two players who were both a couple of years ago playing academy football, and now they've come into the side. Now in a couple of years' time,
we're having to sell them.
We might. That's the whole point. The conversation we're saying, but sell them for how much? You know what I'm saying? So in a couple of years' time,
have I misunderstood your point, Armando? My point is that I think.
No.
Right. I just want to see if I've got your point because it appears to have changed.
Go on, yeah. But basically, what I'm saying is, you've got to invest in youth. We're talking about the squad and injuries. We're talking about KOBBIE. Mainoo could be worth 100 million to Chelsea in a couple of years or at the end of the year or something. So and we've got Garnacho there. So you've got to invest in youth, and that's what we're doing. We've got a good youth side. We're bringing in this Diego guy from South America.
Yeah.
We've got took Arsenal's best goal scoring asset. So there's a reason for that, and the reason is that at the moment we've got two youth players in our first team with Garnacho and KOBBIE in around the first team, and you've got players like Zidane Iqbal being sold, and the other guys, and Savage's son, and Fletcher's kids will come through. So they're sellable assets if we do it the right way. And I'm not saying I don't want to do it like Chelsea model, but I just think these are guys who can come into the squad and will give you 110%, hopefully, when they do, because they'll be hungry for one, and they've got their ideal of how to play, because that would be throughout the club. The whole game model will be out throughout the club, so these guys can walk into the team a lot easier, as they did when your guy Alan Hansen said that you can't win anything with kids. They were able to walk in the team because there was
right. He's not my guy.
I'm joking.
I misunderstood your point. I thought what you were saying was that the way to get back was to build through youth.
Oh no.
It's unfortunately, and this is the worst thing that's happened to football, and I hope United resist this as much as they can, because like after Munich, we rebuilt the club through youth. It's such a clear part of our DNA. But modern football, because it needs to be run as a business and because you need these big squads now, it's financed from youth academies the same way that Chelsea and the same way that City have made 100 million on transfers every year for 5 or 6 years, and they've done it through Cole Palmer's, James Trafford, Rory Delap's, or Liam Delap even.
Yeah.
And I would hate to see us go that way, but if we want to get a big squad, we do actually have to kind of churn like that youth academy, because we don't have very many players in the under 20s, under 21s, under 18s, 19s, full team for England, and we haven't for a couple of years. Like that used to be stocked with United players, and it isn't anymore. And maybe the youth academy isn't quite as good as we think it was, because we bought Garnacho essentially as a youth player off Atletico Madrid, and players like KOBBIE Mainoo, they're not made in youth academies. Like KOBBIE Mainoo would make it anyway. It's not. I don't think he's someone that's been developed from the youth academy. I think he was just that good to always be at that level. He's like a gem or whatever. But I don't think that our youth academy has got a good reputation. I don't think our players have got a good reputation, which is why Hannibal cost 12 million euros, I think, when we signed him, and we sold him for about 12.5 million. I think that we really need to look at our youth system and think that we might have fluked it a little bit with Garnacho and KOBBIE, and they're clearly Champions League level footballers. They're definitely, they both played in the final of their continental international competitions, didn't they? Yeah. You would think that at under 18s, like under 20s, they would be absolutely dominant players. And I think that, like, unfortunately, we're looking at a root and stem, like, rip up of so much of United at the moment, and I hate it, but it needs to be done, because we've got hardly any international players in any of our squads at the moment, and we're 14th in the table. It's disastrous.
Yeah, but I think overall we'll see how they develop. We can't tell now, but let's see over the coming seasons what happens with these young players. And I've seen like people, Agile Beats talk about Fernandez and disappointed that he's gone for such. We sold him to Benfica, I think it was. So there's got to be a few disappointments. I was upset with Angel Gomez, for example, leaving. I was a bit upset with Zidane Iqbal, but clearly we have to trust these guys, their judgment. But I do think some players, it's good for them. You don't make it. As young players know, you get a lot of disappointments, don't you, Bath time?
Yes, you do.
And we do. And that sometimes can help you, can drive you forward and make you a better player. You can come through the lower league and come up, Maybe we see Zidane Iqbal and Charlie Savage for Reading and all that coming up and becoming great players, and we can say, well done, That's good respect.
Tahith Chong and Mengi, Luton last year, they did all right. Last year, Don't know what's going on with James Garner. Fish,
where is he now?
See, I mean, look, and have any of these players who we got rid of, before we say all our good youth players get stuck in academy football. Our system is terrible. I hope that wasn't a laugh time. You're laughing. Don't let that be a swear in some language. But welcome. I've never seen you before, mate. So that's why I bigged you up. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I think that we have to look. Greenwood and McTominay are probably the two most successful transfers that we've had away, but they were more established first team players, or certainly they were squad players. It's more I think Steph put a comment in about we haven't produced a decent centre back out of the youth academy, and it's probably Johnny Evans who is the last Premier League real standard that we've produced.
Yeah, probably.
I just my thoughts on the academy system. I'm not a massive fan of it. But what you kind of look at is when you look at Ajax and Barcelona, they're obviously lauded for their academy systems, but their players don't travel well. Players. Yeah, Fabregas genuinely, I think, is the last player from La Masia that was able to play in the Premier League at a decent level. Like Piqué never really made it with us. I saw him getting battered at Luton.
Yeah, but
away,
he was young, man. He was behind.
Village.
Yeah,
He was
yeah, but he didn't
behind.
make it. Like
What,
that.
at Barcelona?
No, he didn't make it in England, did he?
Yeah,
made
well,
it
bloody
back at
but he was.
Barcelona.
Yeah, but he was behind Rio, and when was he gonna play?
I don't know, but he didn't make it, did he?
Yeah,
Like,
but he was behind Rio and Vidic. He had to leave.
yeah,
And
of course he did. But the point is not about if Gerard Piqué was good enough to play for Manchester, was good enough to bench like Vidic and Ferdinand. That's like saying like Salah and De Bruyne weren't good enough to get. I don't know. He was playing for Chelsea at the time. Out of the team. What I'm saying is that the relationship that we have with our academy is similar to sort of Ajax and with Barcelona. Whereas when you look at Chelsea and Manchester City, a lot of those City players have fitted in really, really well at all sorts of different teams. Like, Lavia, Southampton and Chelsea, and then Delap going off to Luton and Cole Palmer, obviously. I think that there is an issue with how we're coaching in the youth academy.
But that's been improved. I mean, we've only had a year of Ineos. I think they have they've made a remarkable investment in there, and we're starting to look. You're taking Arsenal's best striker. You're bringing in young players from abroad. We're trying, for some reason, this is the evidence to suggest that we're trying to improve that. So we can't really talk about the outcome until a couple of seasons or for a couple of years now. That's when we see the true outcome of what this investment is all about.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But
My
I do
point
think
is
it's a
we
good
need
thing.
to change.
Yeah, and we are. I think we are. The evidence is there to suggest that we are trying to improve the youth academy, and the players coming in, and we'll see soon enough. And I don't judge it by us winning the FA Youth Cup or these having great performances. I judge it on how many of these players can get into top Championship or Premier League teams and have a career. That's how I judge it. And I
want to see them in our team, Yabba, because
of
we've
course,
got Casemiro and Eriksen, and that to me says that Toby Collier isn't actually like ready, and like Amas, he probably should have played some football if he was ready and things. And like, I think that we just at the moment, I don't like our first team particularly. Like, I don't. I just don't like them the way I did with like even Ollie's COVID team that I loved.
It's not. Some days I love them and some days I hate. Today I love them.
Yeah, because also Amarin feels the same. He kind of loved them for that performance against Liverpool, but he's also so pissed off with them because
I love it.
Been?
Yeah,
and that's how I feel about them.
No, but that's good. Hopefully that'll change by half time. I don't know how long. It's going to take, but I'm hoping that'll change. Come maybe 2 months down the line, it'll be Mr. B, but in the chat. Man United squad #heart maybe.
Yeah. Can I just say big up to all the guys in the comments because I'm reading them on the side, but you guys know a lot about the academy, a lot about the youth players coming through. I'm surprised. I mean, who's got a subscription to MUTV? Who watches these games? I mean, we're real proper supporters because you guys know a lot about the young players, and it's good. It's good to look.
I always leave them alone, but like I never want to get invested. Like I have nothing against people who do, but I always want to kind of leave the youth academy to kind of develop by themselves because we always hear about like I can't remember was it there was someone who was in the academy we took off City. Was it Joe Hugill or? There was some guy we took who scored 1 billion goals in 3 games or something.
Yeah.
McNeil,
yeah.
I don't know where he is, but I tell you what, should we finish with this because it gives me an excuse to bring up a certain player or two.
Yeah. Before we say lack a notch, come on then, just bring it up. McTominay
and Elanga.
Right, and if there's anybody who can't read, question to the panel: of the players we've sold in the last 2 seasons, who is the biggest regret, and who would have suited Amarin's system? And I'm not going to say McTominay. And there's no way on God's green earth. Who have we sold in the last 2 years?
Greenwood.
Oh God. Greenwood. If he's gonna make United a lot of money. he's going to make United. They're gonna get their full whatever their sell on is. They're gonna get. I think they're gonna get a little bit more than they thought. Yeah, I will say. I'm gonna say Greenwood without a doubt. Greenwood.
Maxi or Daly?
Didn't see enough.
Willy Kambala. Now there was a goalkeeper who went to Leverkusen, KOBBIE.
Oh, KOBBIE, yeah. Did we see him play though?
He was brilliant in a friendly.
Prague, didn't he?
So what was that, Yabba?
I think he played a season of Sparta Prague in their top league, their first team. So you're talking about the Czech guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have never seen him play, but he's good enough. He's rated enough to play first team football for the Czech champs.
There were two, weren't there? There was Kovar and Vitek. I think Vitek.
Big ups. I said, don't mess with Steph. Don't mess with Steph anyway. She's a gangster, boy. Yes, big up Steph.
Amari Forson is a player I really liked. I don't know who else liked him.
He's all right. For me, it's funny because you jumped in first after with McTominay and who's the other guy you said?
Alangi.
Oh, Langer. Yeah, it's funny you say that because he's gone under the radar. When he was at the club, no one really was too concerned when he left. But Forest are on an unbeaten run over Christmas. They're now like up there, second place, equal on points. He gives them so much balance. He's strong. He's got all the attributes for a Premiership player. Strong physically, and a quick runner as well. And he's doing really well there. And I've heard an interview from him where he feels a bit stink about the way it didn't work out for him at Man United. He probably thinks that he could have made it. It's just that his face. Sometimes your face don't fit, and you're not getting that ratings or you're not getting that endorsement. I think sometimes you need some endorsement. So
do you remember? Yeah, but you've reminded me. During the Ragnick era, we always thought it was Rashford, but someone came out and and one of the quotes was that Alanga was seen as a teacher's pet.
Yeah, wasn't it Rashford?
Well, I don't know. It could have been anyone. Really, but we thought it was
remember you like an elephant, bro.
Yeah,
I've got the touch of one as well. Definitely got the ass of one.
Yeah. So for me, it would be. I know it's controversial, like Mr. B said, but Greenwood. I mean, what a talent he was, and McTominay. Those would be my two. I think McTominay. I watched him the other day for played against Fiorentina. And he scored again. Just like he was in the right area, playing as almost as a second striker, or if he was in our system. This is what the question was about. How do you think they would work in our system?
Number 10.
He would be a number 10 for us, a really good one as well.
Yeah, I think so. Like he'd also help us with set pieces. Taking him and Casemiro out of the first team squad, as it were, has really done us on set pieces.
Yes,
I'd like to
let's play the small fucking violin that McTominay's pissed off to Napoli and is playing like Zidane. Who cares? He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, this is the question. I understand he's gone. It's a real shame. He's one of my favourite.
I tell you, bath time. I tell you, you're down in Fulham. You're down in Fulham in a couple of weeks, ain't you?
Yeah.
I might just drive.
You don't even know what I look like.
I'll give you a little head start.
We're standing on the gate. Which you stand.
All the bald ones will be headbutting. Bam, 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 bam.
Your only hope is to throw a football and see if they can do marathon sevens. That's the only way you're finding
the
me.
person with the shit touching it. Yeah, elephant feet. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
Well, you'd be headbutting half our squad then in that case.
What we'd do, I'd go and go to the Fulham game, Craven Cottage, grab the microphone at half time and say, could someone help us with translating the Spanish for this beautiful young lady?
Do you know what? Right, you started the show off. Mr. B, at the start of the show, you were having a go at people for not saying hello and being polite to everyone. And you're ending the show threatening me. This is why I love the channel. I want to play Alanga as a wing back.
Yeah, that's a shout. Good shout. Got the right attributes, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd also I would be quite interested how a Hannibal or a Tahith Chong would fit in the system, because Hannibal bit of running about. I'd be intrigued to see how he did because he was a mobile player. He scored a goal, I think, once. I'd be interested to see because he's one of the few players that had the physicality to sort out to play in the Premier League. Are you having chats with people, Mr. B?
No, I'm just looking at the questions. Sorry, I'm looking at the questions. I'm looking at the chat. Sorry, I'm listening to you, but I'm looking at the chat, Scott.
Yeah, is Mr. POTUS coming on the show?
I know.
Are we your effing secretary?
That's what I say. It's like
I say, look. I mean, if you want to know about Mr. POTUS, come and see me because we're Instagram friends. We message each other on Instagram. So I'm like his secretary. So I'll ask him for tomorrow, Chris. I'll be messaging him for that.
Look, I like this one as well. Mr. B is a psychopath.
You know what? It's just like, you know, just
how you spell
just hate McTominay that much.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I you know, he just boils my piss, bro. I will never ever understand what the fuss was about, Scott. I used to think that you were doing it to wind me up. I really, really did. I know Yaba, his opinion of players is something that I've expected for a long time, so I don't mind. But I actually thought you were winding me up. And then when I realized you were serious, Mr.
B, remember we were saying the other day, like a lot of fans go to football and what they can't see tactically, they can see with desire. And when you see McTominay on the pitch, you can see that guy's putting a shift in, and you get people off your back. They were cussing, they were booing, making a player cry the other day, taking him off the pitch after 33 minutes. And they were happy to do that because they felt, no, tactically he's not fitting in. No, they didn't think he was putting his weight about. They didn't think he was giving the desire. We watched Newcastle tonight. They filled out the Emirates, their fans, because they got players with the desire and they want to succeed, you know? So someone like Wilcox, what's his name? Willock. You need a player like that in the team. He doesn't play every game, but he's got the desire, and fans, Newcastle fans, they're drinking their brown ale, they're a bit glassy-eyed, and all they can see is someone running and putting it in work. They like that. You know? They might not be efficient with the technical stuff, you know?
This is exactly the view I have as Geordies as well. It's why they always
we know that.
It's why they always voice dogs in like pet food adverts and stuff. They're always Geordies.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, I wasn't winding you up.
Back a notch, please.
Fuck this. Let's go home.
Guys, I tell you what, it's a long time since we've started at 10 o'clock and we've gone on for an hour and a half. Guys in the chat, if you've been offended by anything I've said, it's tough. I hope that we see you all tomorrow. The messages I said, my comment was 100% real. I'm not joking. I see us as a one big happy family, and if people want to come in with no manners, then don't come back. It's as simple as that. But apart from that, we had a couple of newbies. Jarvis, them questions, man, and Kate Cadet boy, this time of night, you can't ask me them long-winded questions because we have no idea how to answer them. None. I haven't had one. I haven't. To your question. We will be back tomorrow at 10 p.m. Because there's another game on tomorrow.
Sorry, just for example, where was Angel when McTominay was playing and everyone was cutting him out? Where were you then?
You stop calling out our viewers for like
no, I'm just generalizing. A lot of people were saying, McTominay, we don't mind him going, and you know, and he's not good enough. And I even said that. I remember the Villarreal final, Europa League. I thought he was terrible in that game. All the desire in the world, but technically didn't have it.
He was man of the match, Yabba.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. But all the desire in the world, running around, but that gave him man of the match. But technically, he didn't give us enough. Having to carry the ball to pass, to close the gap to pass, that sort of thing. And you know, you talk about balance all the time, but he can't get on his left foot and pass it straight. You know, it's really made me frustrated. But then I realised because the poorer we got and the lower down the league we come with 8th and now 14th, he's someone that you really do miss when he's not there, and you do appreciate him. That's how I learned to like him. Because initially I expected us to have a midfielder should be all-rounded. The desire to work rate, the physicality you're supposed to have.
An ontological argument again, Yava.
Oh, these
whatever
words.
that means, bath
These,
time.
thank you.
I've told
Thank
you,
you.
that's the word. I want both of you to use that word.
Keep saying it because I can't. I'd like to add it to my vocabulary.
Ontological.
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 I'm gonna end up spitting in someone's face or trying to say the word. I better
All
not.
right, Patrick Vieira.
Guys, before we descend into any more chaos, look, we will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock with our usual brand of madness, humor, and news. And so it's lack a notch from me.
It's a lack a notch from me.
Lack a notch, guys. Big up. Big up.